Yo, what's going on, everyone? It's Brian and Jim here of Drink a Beer and Play a Game, and welcome to another episode of the Power Hour Podcast.
Yes, hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 261. Thank you for joining us tonight. So, no guests, but we do have a little follow-up that we have to bang out real quick. 2 episodes ago, we had Joe from Video Games Monthly on. He was going to provide a box for a giveaway. We have us a winner, and the big winner, it's goddamn Petey Puff. It's our good old buddy Michelle from the Point and Drink Adventure. So congratulations, Michelle. I'll be talking to Joe to get that out to you.
The only person who doesn't need access to more games. That son of a bitch.
Hey, maybe she'll say, give it to someone else. Maybe she'll be generous. Or maybe she'll be a woman and she'll take it. Because all they do is take.
Damn it, Jim.
What?
Why out there you be so brave?
How dare I be so correct?
No, thank you once again. Really appreciate it, Joe. Thank you for everyone who participated. So, yeah, I can't wait to see if Petey does get it. I do hope she does a little reveal of all the goodies she gets.
Yeah, really.
It's always filled with good stuff. So, we'll see. Either way, we'll give her shit at too many games.
Oh, yeah, of course. I mean, we're going to be doing that anyway, but...
Yeah, exactly. So, Chambers, I don't know about you, but I went a little hard in the paint yesterday, and I feel like that's your normal go-to for every weekend. But I went a little extra hard.
Really?
And it was one of those unplanned things. My brother came down with the kids and everyone. It was like kind of like a makeup Mother's Day for him to come down, and I got the mix pack of the Dogfish Head.
Ooh.
I was like, I'll have one or two, and then I went upstairs. I was like, oh, there's only 2 beers left. I was like, so. Yeah, I don't know if you've tried any of their variety packs, but they have this new Blue Hen Pilsner, which was really good.
Right.
And then this like peach sour, which was actually like, I'm not a big sour guy, but like this thing was super peachy. And it was like Snapple with a Warhead dropped into it is the best way I can describe it. Like the peach Snapple flavor, but with like a really tart like sourness to it.
Huh.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It was just wasn't what I was expecting. But the one I didn't touch yesterday, because I wanted to save for today, is the Sea Quench Ale. Now, I think you and I might have both had this before. It's our session sour.
I'm pretty sure I have.
Yeah, it's like their drinkable sour. Maybe we did have this. You know what? Because I'm reading it, and I think we talked about this before. It's brewed with lime juice, lime peel, black limes, and sea salt. I don't know what the fuck a black lime is. I don't even think I've ever heard of that. But I remember talking about something with a lot of limes and sea salt and being concerned because I was like, you know our history with salt and beer.
Oh, yeah.
But,
Bridges, come.
Damn it, Jim. God damn it.
And there's another delightful yellow dollar sign. Hello, YouTube.
Oh, it's just automatic for everything we put up anymore. But we win most of our fights, Jim.
We do that.
But this is only 4.9%, which anytime you see the term session ale, if you didn't know, that means it's like a more drinkable beer. So you're usually never going to see those. Highest you'd ever see is like 5.4%. These things are usually very drinkable. And I will say, as sours go, this isn't too tart. It's not too bad. I'll wait and see after I get past the second one how it's making my tum-tum feel. But what about you, Chambers? What you going through today?
Huh. Well, actually, I had my rough day on Saturday, so I went kind of easy yesterday. Right, good old Milk Thistle to the rescue. I did a lot of mixing and matching that I probably shouldn't have done, but I made through it alive. But actually, I'm pulling a you. So right before we recorded, I spent like 3 hours doing yard work. So I was like, I just need something light, something crisp that I can just enjoy. And I realized I don't have any light beer in the house. So I went for the next best thing. Good old conservative dad's Ultra Right. So, I mean, it's just a straight up lager, but 4.8% alcohol. And piggybacking, I guess, off what you were saying last week. Yeah, it does have that weird, like, butteriness to it. Almost that, like, it's tough to explain.
It's sweeter than you would expect it to be. But it doesn't. Yeah, I remember that first sip really like surprising me with like, this is, it triggers you a little differently than other beers.
Yeah, you get used to it, and then it's like, okay, it's just like, it's not exactly a light lager, but it's also not like a heavy lager either. It's like a weird in between.
No. No. Yeah, I still have that and the gay beers left. I think I might still have the rush beer you gave me. I think I still have that too. Like I still have, and then I have a lot of still pumpkin and shit left over. So I gotta clean it out. That's what I'm committed to now. But I wanted to save these since I know you usually do sours. I thought maybe you'd be doing a sour. We could be the sour boys, but you fucked it up. So
Right, I'm just a sour boy in general. I don't need a beer to make me more sour.
this is true. This is true, Chambers. Speaking of you being sour, I know last week you were quite heated about your PS5 and the condition it was in. So have you fixed it, and have you been able to dive deeper into Fallout 4?
So yeah, I just took like good old can of duster air spray and sprayed the living shit out of it, and no problem since. So maybe Jimmy's just a slob. But yes, I am fucking addicted to Fallout 4. Like, I haven't been this addicted to a game since I was playing through XCOM 2 years ago. And like I know when I'm addicted to a game truly when I just lose sleep over it. When I'm just sitting there and going, it's getting close to 1 o'clock. I should probably turn off. And then I'm still up for another 2 hours. I'm like, oh, I have work tomorrow. This is going to be terrible. But yeah, I
love to hear it.
I'm just stuck in the thick of it. It's the only thing I want to do right now is just go into the goddamn wasteland. It's got its hooks to me, Brian. It's got its goddamn hooks into me.
Now, I assume, I forget if it's automatic. Does ammo have weight to it, or did you have to put it to like hardcore mode like New Vegas?
I would have to do hardcore mode for that.
Okay. Yeah, because I couldn't remember my playthrough if I did that or not after doing Vegas.
Which, good thing I'm not, because I'm burning through ammo quick enough as is.
Mm-hmm. You definitely do that. Do you find yourself like, as if the other Fallouts weren't bad enough with like side questing and all the other random shit you could do? In this one, once you start base building, you're like, fuck, I need to find some glass or some copper, and I need to make this turret, and I need to, like, all the little things you can do. Do you find that you're just dumping hours into just base building?
Not yet. That hasn't really grabbed me. I've done the bare minimum for like the first level, like Sanctuary. But
Okay.
yeah, I'm just like, I just want to get to more of the stories and everything like that. Like, I'll go back and like, upgrade the shit out of a gun or try and upgrade some more of my like power armor and all that stuff. But for the most part, like, I'm not dicking around too much with the whole base building thing. Even though I'm like, all right, I got to start dropping turrets in these other little encampments because I'm in the middle of another mission and I get, this, Shady Springs is under attack. I'm like, God damn it.
You're like, defend yourselves. Fuck, I gave you beds.
Pussies. What more do you need? You have corn. You have corn and one water pump.
How awesome is that? And now that I know you're far enough in, like, how awesome is that one mission very early on where you get the power armor and the Deathclaw emerges?
I mean, that was just like surprising. I was like, oh my God, I already have a power armor and there's already a Deathclaw. Like, what the hell is this? Like, it definitely slows down a lot after that point. But yeah, no, that was just like a cool set piece kind of moment.
And what I like about that game so much is how it made the power armor feel. Like, going through Fallout 3 and New Vegas, they're just like armor, but that have crazy stats. But in that thing, it's like the sound, it's everything. Like, it feels like a big to-do. Even like the opening of it up and getting into it, like, is a cool little animation. It really gets you a little bit more in the mood and thinking like you're basically Iron Man.
Yeah, pretty much. And then, yeah, you get to carry more items and all that bull crap. It's cool. But you're still not goddamn indestructible. That's for freaking sure. Freaking super mutants with rocket launcher around the corner. Oop, dead. Oop, haven't saved in a while. More backtracking. Wonderful.
Oh my God. If you're not doing the classic, like, every 5-10 minutes save, then you're doing it wrong.
I die all the time.
Have you run into any bugs yet? Like, anything that made you, because you were talking about that before. Like,
oh, yeah. Bugs, not a ton of, but the game will crash like every hour and a half. It'll just boot me right back to the PlayStation 5 home screen.
really?
Yep.
I've never. I don't know if that's a PlayStation thing.
I know they recently pushed out because of the TV show, and I just finished that up, and that show's fucking great. If you haven't seen it, you should watch it. I They pushed out a big update to like kind of like for all the old games to bring them up to the newer systems, and apparently they've had a bunch of problems. So, like, I haven't had any game breaking bugs, but yeah, at least like every time it crashes, it like the autosave does a good job of not screwing me too much, but it's still annoying.
So, similar to New Vegas, one thing I will say, I'm not going to give any specific spoilers, but you should do yourself a favor and figure out when that point is of like saving and no returns. So if you did want to experience all 4 endings, you can really do that. Now, granted, I doubt you're.
I don't have the time for that anymore. One, I'm not even close to that point, but I don't have the time for that anymore. So as much as I would like to, like I did it with New Vegas, I don't know. I might hit a point where I'm like, I need to move on to something else.
But Jim, we've already said this is a year you're not doing the franchise. Come on, what else are you going to do? If you're enjoying yourself, enjoy it. Enjoy it thoroughly.
Well, that is true. But, Bryce, speaking of inspiration, I haven't done it yet. And first, I got to get the Patreon games out of the way, too, once I break this Fallout addiction. But our good old buddy, Burn Retinas, he finally did it. He won before Jim. He finally got his first place in Tetris 99. And I'm like, do I dive back in? Do I spend like the last half of my year trying for that goal? That poor bastard. 697 attempts before he got it.
How many attempts are you up to now?
I'm over 5, probably like 530 or something like that. So, I mean, there's light at the end of the tunnel.
Man, it's funny. Every time you mention that game, it burned something in me to be like, should I try it again?
Just for that one little fuck you.
It's more
because it comes so easy to you. It's so easy to troll me that way. It's so easy.
But I'm trying to figure out why, because I've seen you play Tetris. You're pretty like I can't figure out. Maybe I just need to see you do it live. Like I need to see what it is. Do you think it's that you're just choking at the pressure? Like, are you abundantly aware of like you're in the last like second place, third place, and you're like building it up too much? Like it matters too much?
I don't know. Maybe at this point I am, because I mean, once they start falling like crazy, it's just like I'm in mad dash for survival mode at that point. So maybe I just got to get goody.
Are you too anal about like trying to save up the long pieces instead of just clearing lines?
No, once it gets that fast, I'm like, just survive. Clear the lines.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'll dip back in, but I got a while before then. I'm still in the wasteland.
Dip into it. No, I'm happy to hear you're finally. I mean, obviously, I tried to convince you back when that game came out about how great it was. I was like, Jim, play it, and I knew it would take you forever, but I'm glad. Like I said, the same. So if you like the style and how it plays, I think then you actually would appreciate Fallout 76, except for the quirky nature of the playing with other people and the FOMO of like having seasons or whatever the fuck they're called these days.
Yeah.
But you still have certain main quests or side quests you can do, but you just now have this added other bonus bullshit. That's cool. Yeah. So Fallout 3, I'm one quest away from finishing the main story again. And I'm going through, as I said, I have a lot of videos planned for Fallout. I might just kind of commit to making June a Fallout month with the stuff I have. I just need to finish off the side quest to say, like, I've played through all the side quests when I make my top 10 quest in Fallout 3 video.
Number 1, Silver Shroud.
That isn't in Fallout 3.
I know, but it's still number 1. It's number 1 in my heart.
God damn it. You know what's funny is, my God, like I forgot how great some of these side quests are. And the game is like, I said, I think I told you last one, like I have the dart gun, I have the rocket launcher, I have like all the goofy weapons. So now I'm in that mode where my hoarding of missiles and minigun ammo and, you know, all the other shit, I'm like, that's just my go-to, using that for like everything moving forward. So yeah, it's in that fun state of like, I'm not going to check every fucking locker anymore. I don't care if there's 5 caps. I don't need them. Like I have like 8,000 caps. I'm like, I'm good. I don't need anything. So
I get the caps.
I don't need any more. There's nothing I can't buy. So yeah, I'm like you. I'm hooked on that shit. And same deal. all right, I'll do 1 or 2 quests. And then I'm like, fuck, it's like 2:00 in the morning. God
Yup.
damn it.
Yep.
Those games get you, man. They definitely stick with you. So, like you though, what I will say is, I don't know what's next as far as me playing. Like, I might do 76. You have obviously Postal 2 to go through. But I did see you repost it, and it's a game I know I'm going to play the shit out of, which is Hellblade 2.
And yeah, so I just posted, it's coming out tomorrow as of this recording. We're recording on the 20th. And yeah, Ninja Theory posted a pretty long message that was just like, we hope you enjoy this. We're really proud of this. Is there a chance it's a goodbye note? A preemptive goodbye note? Like, they're under the Microsoft umbrella. It's had zero, maybe like they can see the writing on the wall and how they've had zero like promotion for it. Like, Microsoft has done nothing to hype up this game. And besides like one tweet last week and this tweet today, it's like, I would not be surprised if like 80% of the population had no idea this was coming out tomorrow.
No, I agree with you. And it's funny because I felt like a year ago, or whenever they first announced it, between trailers, showing behind the scenes shit, like, they were hyping the shit out of this game. Like, this was one of the big things, like, for FY20, 2024, here's games to look forward to. And I felt like this was hyped. And now we're in it's being released tomorrow. I haven't seen shit for it, like, to your point. And I said Hellblade 1 was one that I don't even know if I can call it underrated, but I love the ever-loving shit out of it. It has one of the best soundtracks. Definitely the best, and I will say this clearly, the best sound design in a game, because the whole game is based on sound design. So it has to be. Like, that's how combat works. I'm going to play it. I'm sure it's going to be great. I hope you're wrong. I hope Ninja Theory doesn't go under after this, or they're another one on the chopping block. I don't know. But either way,
right.
Yeah.
If it makes it feel better, I'm wrong a lot.
I hope you are, but I kind of got that feeling too. I'm like, this is a little bit sentimental of a letter. Like, this is where like a friend writes something and you're like, everything going okay? You all right, buddy? Like, what's happening here? So I hope we're both wrong, and it's just, maybe it's a crazy success. So yes, if you're watching this, do yourself a favor. Just play this game. Give it some support, because I would hate to see these guys go under.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know. You never played Hellblade 1, right?
No, I still need to get around to that.
You know what? If you're looking for a game that you're kind of like, what do I want to play this year? Like,
And it's short, too, isn't it? It's only like 4 or 6 hours.
Maybe 6, 7 hours. Especially if you're not doing side shit. I think you'd enjoy it. But Chambers, you already mentioned, and I mentioned, obviously we'll be hitting up Postal 2. Comes to us, and it's our last review, right, from Patreon?
No, we do have another one. I'll look it up. Well, as we have this dead air here, as I do that, Bri, I got to break the news to you. No Patreon questions this week.
Okay. That's fine. Well, while you're looking that up,
Berserk Boy from Brian Reese, he requested that, which I think is like a modern spiritual successor kind of deal to like the Mega Man X kind of games. So it's not, I don't think it's by any of the people who worked on the originals, but it's definitely of that style. And I think it came out fairly recently, maybe in the last 2 months.
Okay. I hope it's a lot better than fucking, what was that? Mighty Joe 9 or...
Oh, Mighty Number 9.
Mighty Number 9, that bullshit. That game, which was just
I've
Mega Man knockoff.
Yeah, I haven't heard much about this one yet, so maybe at the very worst it's just mid, but at least it's not like famously bad, so we have that going for us.
Looks interesting. I mean, the style looks cool. But yeah, I definitely see the Mega Man inspiration. Okay, cool. Awesome. And who'd you say that's from?
Brian Reese.
Brian?
Yep.
Appreciate it. That then will be my next game after Fallout 3. So there you go. You just answered my question, Jim.
Well, there you go. Look at old Jimmy coming through in the clutch by doing absolutely nothing.
God damn it.
But yeah, for anyone out there listening to the show for the first time, make sure to head on over to patreon.com/DrinkABeerandPlayAGame. $2 a month, you can ask a question on every single episode of this Power Hour podcast. And from $1 all the way up to $10, you can get bonus content, asking questions, bonus game reviews, movie reviews, game review requests, and all of the kinds of good stuff. So head on over to there. Anything you can do really supports us a lot. And also to head on over to either iTunes, Spotify, or YouTube. Give us some subs. Give us some reviews. Anything you do will help the page.
Yeah. As always, guys, thank you so much for your support. And once again, if you're somebody who is supporting us, make sure to get those questions in. We love them, especially, you know what? I even like the more random, the better. So keep sending them in, sending the hypotheticals. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to bring back my old hypotheticals I used to hit Jim with that would drive him crazy.
Dear God, please get your questions in.
Jim's like, why are you always making it so bad?
They are always bad. It's always like, would you rather have sex with your mom or be raped by a bear? It's like, really?
Well, Jim, now you got to answer.
The bear. The bear. It's fine. I can recover from that mentally.
Are you sure you can?
Yes, I can recover enough.
Oh, see, you just sparked something where I was going to give a hypothetical, but you know what? I won't. I'm going to leave.
You'll save it for a rainy day?
I'm going to save it for a rainy day.
Well, wonderful. I can't wait.
Oh, God damn it, Jim. All right. Well, this fucking company.
Speaking of being raped, customers of limited run games.
Jesus Christ, man. Like, Jim, if you ever order another thing from them, I'm just promising you now, and I'm going to get it on camera, I'm giving you a ball tap, just so you know. It's happening. Period. So, be prepared if you do it. That's what happens. And everyone watching and listening, I'm sure you'll agree with me. That's what he deserves. So, why don't you tell them what we just talked about this last week, a different fuck up from them. So why don't you tell them about the latest one? Because this one is...
Oh, Brian, in this week's fuck up from Limited Run. So, they love to sell random bullshit now, just besides games. So we famously talked about how their special editions of games will take, like your Castlevania Shadow Box took you, what, like 2 years to get that?
Yeah, pretty much.
Our buddy PK in the Universe, he waited over 2 years, I think, for his Scott Pilgrim vinyl soundtrack. And speaking of soundtracks, they recently did one for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on the NES. And, yeah, it's not good. See, here's... Brian, we already know you don't mess with, like, the true hardcore retro gaming community. But why would you go and poke the bear of an even more niche and hardcore audience of audiophiles? Because the sound quality, it's no good. So the link here comes from Time Extension, and basically it says, limited run under fire for a horrible Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles vinyl release. The tweet that kind of exposed it was a guy named Marshall Art, who said, I'm very disappointed with the audio used for the NES soundtrack vinyl. Not only is it the lossy OGG Vorbis compressed audio from the Cowabunga Collection game, which is the exact compression artifacts are present, they're badly extended the loops. So he goes on to say, as a follow-up, I wrote the limited run and they replied with a refreshing transparency. Some of what I was told was in confidence, and I'll respect that. LRG put more effort into these than I had given credit for, but there were restrictions imposed the other parties involved with this release. So basically that reads to me like limited run's going, hey man, not our fault. Hey, Konami made us do it this way. It wasn't us. It was Konami. Or the Turtles license. It wasn't us. Why would we be? Why would we be at fault? Why would we be the one to blame for putting out a bad product that we charge people for? Not our fault. You still paid for it.
Jim, as much as I hate limited run game, the frustration in reading how technical and specific this guy was getting and showing the audio loops and this and that, I'm like... There's kind of like an owner beware thing with me where I don't feel any sympathy. I'm like, you bought from fucking limited run games. You bought a soundtrack to a game also that is now, how old is it? Like, when did it originally come out?
What was it, like 87, 88, 89 maybe? I forget.
So infinite years old of a loop
At least 30. So yeah.
So it's a company that's notorious for questionable quality, terrible time, and not great customer, not relations. I don't like customer service. And you spent this much detail going into like explaining all this, like they're going to give a flying fuck. So there's a part of me that's kind of like, just take the L. Like, don't buy from them. Point it out. Say, yeah, there's a really shitty quality loop. But man, to your point, I guess I don't understand the
old victim blaming Brian at it again.
In this case, we've talked about this with limited run games. You know what? You're not a victim anymore if you're still buying from them in fucking 2024. You're not a victim anymore. You know the signs are out there.
Brian, why you dressed like that? Quinn at it again.
Here's the deal. You and I have talked about this. Is there something about, other than the collector's mentality, is there a reason you'd really want vinyl for your video game music?
I mean, some people are really, really into video game music. Like, to the point where, like, they can put it on a vinyl and just, chill out and relax to it. Like, it is its own kind of vibe to just put a record on in the corner of a room and just kind of sit back and relax with whatever you're doing. It just has a different feel than just, like, putting an MP3 on a speaker from your phone. So, like, there's a whole effort to it. And maybe it's all mental and it's all, like, placebo effect, but it is what it is. So, like, I'm not going to kill people for that. It just sucks that, it's a good soundtrack, don't get me wrong, but it's like, man, like, you really had to, like Turtles on the NES? Like, come on.
I'm saying from the NES,
the songs are maybe
so
a minute
much better.
They're maybe a minute long, and then they loop over and over again. Which, I was tempted to get like the Streets of Rage soundtrack when Data Discs first put that out, but then I was like, I'll never do anything with this. So I don't know. It's a collecting thing that I don't understand, but we all have our niches.
No, and I'm not hating on the collecting piece. I'm asking a legit, because I don't know. Does vinyl actually sound better? Is it a better quality sound? Like how you and I would talk about, if you had a plasma TV, there's better blacks and it's better for watching film than a LED.
Right.
Is that the case with vinyl, or is it really just a taste thing? Or not taste, a preference, I mean.
Here's the thing with vinyl, and I'm no vinyl expert, but from what I understand and been told by the real hardcores about it, it depends on how it's mastered. So if it was originally recorded and mastered in analog, it can be converted over to vinyl and have like a thicker kind of feel to it. Like it does have a different sound quality than you would get from like even a FLAC file or an MP3. But if it was recorded originally digitally and then put on a vinyl, you're kind of just gimmicky listening to a vinyl for the sake of listening to a vinyl. It's going to be the same quality as it was for anything else.
And that's my question. Isn't that by default what all video game vinyls are?
Yeah, exactly. So with the exception of like, say maybe Symphony of the Night's a bad example, but something that's more orchestral, maybe if it was recorded in analog and then it was mastered for a game, if you can get that original analog recording for it and put it on a vinyl, that would be pretty fucking cool. But NES Turtles, you're not going to see any benefit from that.
You don't have a vinyl. You don't have vinyls, do you?
I have some.
Do you have a vinyl player?
Yeah, I have like one of those cheapy, like $50 ones from Bed Bath & Beyond when that was still around. But, it's a thing to put on. The quality's decent enough. I'll be over at Buddy's house, and he has like a full-on like $1,000 sound system set up for his like record player, and it does sound awesome. And there are times when like I'm listening to a song I've heard a billion times, and I can just hear like a different track going off that I would have never heard before. So like when you hear, it's tough to describe, but when you hear that different experience, you're really like, oh, this is cool. But I just can't see that happening with like most video game soundtracks.
And to your point, and you already said it, especially this fucking game.
And not even this game, but like the Cowabunga collection version, which like, it's like, from what I understand, it was a kind of weak remastering, not remastering, but like, conversion of the songs. So you're not even getting like the best version of those songs for a 30-some-year-old video game.
But you did say, you mentioned this, and what I was reading into it, his follow-up tweets kind of seem to, I don't want to say he let him off easy. He did, but I'm wondering, like, he's like, well, I guess they did put more effort into it than I was giving them credit for, and they explained it, and I guess it wasn't that easy. I don't know. Just stop buying from them. That's like every time we hear these stories, that's kind of my go-to is like, stop buying from them. You're not gonna, especially if you're this level of, you want the perfect loop and whatever, like, you're not going to get it from limited run games. I'm sorry.
I think this just shows that limited run knows their audience, and it's just a bunch of collector pay piggies. So they know that they're going to buy it up no matter what, because it's, a thing to have. So like you said, you're not going to, I think at this point, I don't know if anyone expects quality from limited run, to be honest with you. But yeah, buyer beware, like you said.
Jim, let me ask you something. Call this, I don't want to say pessimistic, Brian, but do you think there's people that now just hate buy from limited run just so they can bitch about it? Just to get the clout to, like, and maybe it's creators or people that are larger, just to be able to say, I got it, and oh man, I can't wait to say how much I hate this or how terrible it is. And maybe they do that with other products too. I'm saying, just like how people are like drama channels, I feel like there's so much negativity automatically that some people are like, have a shtick of, I'm going to be the one to shit on this thing. So you're kind of like hate buying.
I mean, maybe there's someone out there, but I feel like that's one of those things that would be like spread around if it was. And like, it's like when everyone was making those DK Oldies videos and everyone would buy like, a $500 set and get a system with like 3 screws and a third-party power bar and go, oh God, look at this terrible quality. And, those videos were super big for people. We don't see that with limited run. Like, for all the problems limited run has, the end products they put out are like
easy.
Nothing they've put out besides, I guess, this record has been like actually super bad.
Careful.
Like, you buy a game, you get a game. Is it overpriced? Yeah. Could it be brought to you in a quicker time? Yeah. Hopefully, is it not on a fucking CDR? Yeah. But until these past couple weeks, they were like a very annoying and frustrating company, but not outright terrible. So I could at least give them that. So maybe it's just not interesting enough of a company to do it. They're lower mid quality enough to skirt by.
So you're giving them the Kevin Spacey treatment. I see what you're doing.
Yes, it is Kevin Spacey after Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. That is what limited run is. Where you go in knowing what you're going to get and you go, it's all right.
Damn it, Jim.
Hey, Tusk.
Don't you dare. The real question is, what's their next fuck up going to be?
I don't know.
They're on a hot streak right now.
I didn't see either of these coming, so at least their fuck ups are interesting. It isn't like, we didn't get it out and we have a delay. Like, that's boring shit. No one cares about that. Like, putting games on a CDR, that's so weird and random. It's like what do they have next? That's what I'm excited to.
You mean they're not going to have their Diddy moment?
Right. It's the intro to Viva La Bam. It's what do we think of next? Now, when you say his Diddy moment, are you talking about his gay orgies or beating up his girlfriend in a hallway? The most recent one.
That's the most recent one I saw. And I'm not an internet guy, but that's all that was on any feed was that video. I'm like, ew. Like, I know very little about him.
Gotta say it, kicks like a bitch. Can't throw a vase to save his life.
I don't even know what the fuck that first part you just said, the gay orgy. I don't even know what you're referencing with that. I don't want to know, to be honest, Jim.
Oh, apparently he's another one of these guys who has all these parties and tells people they gotta gay sex them to get ahead in the industry. Apparently Meek Mill's really tied with his blowjob parties or some shit. I don't know all the details, but
damn, he got Meek.
He got Meek. He did Meek dirty.
Fuck.
Philly's finest, Brian.
I was gonna say you had to get a Philly guy. Son of a bitch.
Could have done anyone else. Had to get the guy from Philly. What next? Boys to Men? Just rip all of our hearts out?
Don't you dare. Don't you dare.
Hall and Oates?
He better not put his hands on Mike. That's all I can say.
Look, if he does Hall, that's fine. Don't get Oates.
Damn it. He is a man-eater. But
don't.
Oh, Jim. But let's keep up with the terrible companies. And this one, I'll be honest, I read the article multiple times and I still don't quite fucking get it. But we reported on it last week. The whole situation.
Farce. Apparently that was a farce. That was a fraudulent video.
But, okay, what I'm going to say is this comes to us from timeextension.com.
Speaking of you and your phony cloud video thing.
Well, they're calling the video we talked about last week where the guy found a box full of games and they're saying it was a hoax. But I don't know where they're getting it. They're just saying it's a hoax. Because I clicked all the links they have in the article, and we have the article below, and I even went to the original French site and then translated it. Other than them just saying it was a hoax, like did the guy or whatever that what's his name?
Paravec,
did he come out and say it, or are they just claiming it was based on? That's the part it is not made clear to me at all. They just say they staged a hoax, but there's no backup to it.
Yeah, the backup is Paprium saying, no, it's not. That's a hoax. That's fake.
That's my point, right? So my point is, like, are they taking Paprium at their word for this, or the developer? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems like they're quick. They're probably just, it's CYA right there. They're probably like, I mean, it might be a hoax. I don't know. We don't want to get sued, but and it's easy to just get a bunch of old Sega Sports games and to manually print out a Paprium cover and to put them all in there. Like, it's possible. And if you really want to go through that extra mile, like, you can do a shitty shrink wrap job around everything to hoax it. It seems like a lot of work for a very niche audience, but I mean, he got him attention, so I guess it worked.
I hate to use, what is it, Arkham's razor, or where it's like the most likely outcome is probably the most realistic one.
Yeah.
And to your point, yes, could someone fake that? Sure. But, like, that's a lot of effort to just make this video. Now, I did say, it's funny because I actually rewatched not rewatch, as I was editing it. I did mention my whole weird thing about that video was I don't know who this guy is. I don't know where this warehouse is. I don't know why he would have access to it. Like, there was a bunch of weird questions on my end. So I don't know what's real. I don't know if his video is fake. I don't know if this calling his video fake is a fake. I rewatched the video and I'm like, yeah, man, that's a lot of effort to just fake something. So I don't know. You tell me.
Yeah, but so going back to the original article, it ignited people going, oh yeah, fucking Paprium. And apparently people were starting to campaign now to try and get a refund for their game. Apparently you can like make claims with like people did with the FTC before, where it's like, this is obvious fraud because we never got that product in a certain amount of time. So they're going to try and do it with this. I don't know how it works since Paprium comes from a French company. I don't know the international law there, but they're trying apparently.
Did Paprium, when they crowdfunded, what did they use to crowdfund?
I think it was Kickstarter.
Kickstarter? Yeah, I wonder if Kickstarter has an obvious, like, here's the way you can get your refund. I don't know, but you know what? Whether it was a hoax or not, if it gets the question out there and it pushes Paprium to move their asses, maybe it's a good thing either way, right?
Yeah. I mean, it seems like they're trying some kind of class action suit. So, yeah. Well, it'll be interesting to see however comes from that. Because I'm more interested to see, like, how they try to do it.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, is there any excuse you would take from Paprium developers at this point for why it still hasn't come out?
No.
So you're not going to be a defender of them like you are out limited run?
Nope. Hey, look, I said limited run, lower mid tier, but Watermelon Games, toilet.
Have they made anything else?
Pure Solar. That was like their first big game that was like one of those ones that like pushed the Genesis to its limits kind of deal. It's like a top-down RPG. RPG fanatics are kind of on it, but it was like more of a technical marvel kind of deal. But even that like had compatibility issues with some systems. So that was another weird one. Not as bad as Paprium, but yeah, that was one that had a lot of hype, and then everyone kind of soured on it after it lost the luster of being like one of the first big new games on an old console ever back in like the early 2010s.
Let me ask you, Jim. Did you see the trailer for Paprium with the weird like flashes of like real people. This like I don't even know. The dude was dressed up like a YMCA dancer, and then it's flashes of the game. I was like, "What the fuck is this trailer? It looks awful." I don't know how that got people excited for the game.
Just couldn't think of Village People, huh, Brian? You know, the YMCA dancer people guys.
I actually couldn't. And even as I was saying YMCA, I'm like, that's a fucking gym. I'm like,
you know, O'Brien described it. He's like, yeah, you know, it's got like the gay cop into woo 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 and all that.
Yeah, it's basically I couldn't remember Village People. That's who it is. Fuck, Jim. I have too much useless Fallout information in my head right now. All right.
All right, I'll let that slide. Cutting to my core with that one.
I'm glad you knew it really quickly, though.
The real banger's in the Navy, as we all know. So I will not let that disrespect slide.
Well, Chambers, I mean, we talked about audiophiles. We talked about people who are committed to crazy things. And this article, we've talked about speedrunners, people doing just crazy challenges. But the latest, and possibly one of the craziest I've ever friggin' heard of, is that an Elden Ring player was able to complete the game using Morse code. And it comes to us from the Spanish streamer Silither. I'm probably fucking up his name. But this comes to us...
Silither?
Yeah, it comes to us from Eurogamer.net. I'll have the video going as we talk. So... he obviously input commands utilizing Morse code, so it's just one button, and he was able to beat it. But there's a caveat to this. Not only did he beat the game in Morse code, it got a lot of attention, and Elon Musk basically commented, he said, the final battle is beautiful, but easy. Try that with Melania. Now, here's the deal. I've never played Elden Ring. Is Melania a different boss, or like...
It's probably one of those optional like super bosses.
Okay.
I never got that far enough to know.
That's what I was trying to figure out. Well, this guy responded, and he then went on to beat her. So, which is my only assumption is that she must be tougher than the boss he beat when he originally beat the game. Jim, this is one of those things. We've talked about like crazy challenges, and if you read in the article, there's like multiple people have used crazy shit. Like someone named Miss Mika completed the game multiple times using different methods, and one of them was beating it 2 games simultaneously controlled with a controller and a dance mat. But okay, so here's my question.
Use your powers for good. What are you doing?
When people do shit like this, do you think it's somebody like he's played Elden Ring and beat it so many times that he's like trying to challenge himself, or that he's beaten enough games utilizing Morse code and said, what's a harder game to do? Like, what is the thinking there? Like, how the fuck do you get to this point? What went wrong?
I mean, I get... You get all types on the internet, Brian. It must just be a thing where it's like it's one of his favorite games, and he went, yeah, I want to really challenge myself. Like, what other shit did he go through where he's like, you know what? I need one button, and I need Morse code for it.
That's my point. So if you read about him, it's interesting because, you know, his thing is, and he's kind of been upset, like on Twitch. He's like, I really just try to do challenge videos and they don't get many views, but this one finally like caught on, especially with Elon. So I'm happy about it. But I was trying to like watch some of his old stuff and figure that out. Cause I just want to try to understand like how do you get to that point where you're like, well, I want to beat Elden Ring. You went through every possible crazy bullshit. It's the same as like speedrunners, right? Like with that shit, like I can't imagine you're actually enjoying the game anymore, right? It's so procedural. And you even watch his face when he beats it in the original video. He's very calm, and he explains, I need to do that so I keep my composure. Like, I can't get myself too overly excited when I'm doing this shit. I couldn't imagine anything worse, and that's what you boil your game down to. Is like the biggest. I don't know.
It seems like more like work than fun at that point.
That's my point. Like, because imagine how many failed attempts he must have had doing this shit. Hundreds at minimum. Like, even if he's a savant at gaming, you're gonna fail so many fucking times. And I don't know.
You have to fuck up your hand doing that too.
Yeah,
like, there's no way you're just pounding away at one button and like you don't have just like by the time you're like older than like your one hand there. Like, I don't get it. I like. Are you gonna sit there with a crippled hand one day and be like, worth it?
I forget. You how far did you get in Sonic when you tried to use the Atari controller?
I was in Labyrinth Zone, but I more rage quit because my computer kept blue screening. And I went, all right, this ain't happening. So I probably could have gotten farther. I think I could have beaten the game, but yeah, unfortunately, software was not on my side that day, or hardware.
Could you beat Streets of Rage with that?
Depends on what button it maps to. Because,
True.
like,
if it's jump, obviously, you can't.
Yeah, if it's jump, I'm out of luck. And if it's special attack, especially in Streets of Rage 1, I'm out of luck. So it basically has to go to B or else that ain't happening.
I know you and I are the same in this sense. It's like, there's nothing. But, like, when I see videos like this, there's a part of me that goes, like, even as a kid, as diehard a fan of, like, Resident Evil, to unlock shit like Tofu in Resident Evil 2, I was like, I don't want to go through that. Like that just seemed like too much for me. That I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Like I look at shit like that and I just call it like, I don't know if it's worth it or whatever. It's like, I don't think it's a thing where I don't think I couldn't do it. I think if you put enough time to it, you could beat any game in these fucking crazy ways.
Right.
But I don't know, like, don't you think there'd be such a dopamine dump if you had a challenge like that and this guy, let's say he spent months on this and then he does it? It's like, well, now what do I do?
Yeah, really. It's like, what do you do next?
Yeah, like, how do you top a game like Elden Ring now with Morse code? Like, anything you do is going to be, like, such a pale in comparison. I don't know.
Elden Ring while being raped by a bear. We're full circle on this show.
Fuck. Like, I do, don't get me wrong, I do like some goofy shit. Like, I remember back in the day, there was like a lot of videos when Warzone was first coming out of people using like musical instruments like the flute or drums, and they were like sniping with them. I was like, that's pretty hilarious. I'm sure they died a million times, but they finally got that clip of them actually doing it. I was like, all right. But that's not an entire game like Elden Ring. I'm like, fuck, man.
Yeah, it's just like, God damn, that's a commitment.
Okay.
I couldn't even commit to being the actual game.
Well, we knew that. Come on. Some of us called that right from the get-go.
Yeah,
you still need it. Jim, should I beat Tetris with Morse code? Is this what it all boils down to?
Go nuts. Go fucking nuts. Have at it.
You know what it is?
And the bitch of it is, you probably will before I do.
We need some kind of gimmick, Jim. We need a gimmick for like me beating that while you still just try to regular beat it.
Well, Brian, looks like you're going in the woods.
If you damn it. If you just let your if you listen to your master, Jim, and you did it the way I told you, which is be in your flow state, your happy place, be on the toilet.
I don't have a happy place.
The toilet, that's your happy place. Just be on there, have the bidet splashing up your ass, and I bet you'll win.
I never played with the bidet going before. That is just like
no sound.
It's like Christmas morning, every turn, every splash.
Now, all right. Is it here's the deal. The thing I struggle with is I don't even know if I would call that impressive at that point. What this guy did. Like, it's a feat that 99% of us could never do, but there's a level of like, yeah, why did you do it?
Yeah.
I don't know. Am I being too cold with that? Like, are you seeing a benefit to him doing this that I'm not seeing? Are you impressed at all is my question. Is there a part of you that goes, that's pretty impressive?
Yeah, it's definitely impressive. It's also just me going, why?
Like
Yeah,
if this was a buddy of ours in real life, would you care more?
that depends on their situation in life, Brian.
What are you suggesting, Jim?
I'm just saying, it's pretty impressive if, say, you're a family man, full-time job, and you still spend all your free time learning how to do that. Really dedicating to yourself, having to make the effort out there. Not the type, single, pushing 40, no job, that kind of deal, and you go, this is what you're doing, huh?
I did like how you said, like, use your power for good. Like, yeah, he could be probably like an internet, like a savant at more legit Morse code decryption. Not that anyone fucking uses Morse code anymore, but or teaching people Morse code or something. Like, there could be something there, but nope. Use it to beat Elden Ring.
Well, gotta use it for something. That's like the one language he took in high school. He's like, I'm using this goddamn language. I will get my worth out of this.
Jim, did it make you want to learn Morse code?
No. Brian, you could have stopped it. Did it make you want to learn? I would have just stopped you there and gone, nope.
Stupid. Read the chapter.
My learning days are done.
Wait till you have to really start teaching your kid stuff.
Oh, fuck.
Again. Because, Jim, let's
be
honest.
I am praying my school does not do Common Core. I do not want to have to figure out how to explain.
It's all going to be Common Core, Jim. And number one, I can tell you from Catholic school to any public school of anyone I know, it's all fucking Common Core until you learn it. And Jim,
I wonder all the kids are dumb.
I know your situation. You're going to have to be the teacher.
I guess when it comes to that. Hey, my wife's doing a hell of a job being the homework person right now, but there's going to be a point grade-wise where it's like it might be rough.
Wait till history.
Oh God, history. That's a lost cause right there.
Well, Jim, some people care about history, and then others, like Ubisoft, don't give two shits about it, do they?
I see what you did there.
See what I did there? So, all right. I'm sure by now we're recording this on the 20th.
This is the new big ongoing controversy. Move over, Stellar Blade. Stellar who? Stellar fuck yourself, because we got a new game in town to fucking grift over.
God, talk about Stellar Blade, a game that came and went with like nothing. But anyway, Assassin's Creed Shadows. The trailer came out on May 15th. As I said, we're recording on the 20th. Sure, everyone's seen it. What's funny is I only had initially caught like images of like, oh, it's Assassin's Creed in Japan. Like, fucking obvious. Yeah, like of all the gazillion Assassin's Creed out there, I'm actually shocked it took them this long to get there. But to Jim's point, the controversy lies in the main character. And I still, I live in a world of acronyms. And I still, when I see DEI, I'm always like, I don't know what the fuck that means, and I always have to look it up. And it was flashing because of this game a lot, in articles and people commenting.
Well, Brian obviously means intensity, integrity, and intelligence.
Damn it. So, Chambers, what is the big controversy around this game?
Brian, there's a black guy in a Japanese game, in a game based in Japan. And the gamers are not having it.
Which I think the caveat there is the main character.
One of the two main characters. There's two main characters. And in fairness, we don't... Okay. We're all basing everything right now, like we always do when these stupid controversies come out, on barely any information. So there is a, minute-long trailer that's come out.
Yeah.
All cinematic, doesn't show any gameplay like all these ones do. Two characters. Like a shinobi assassin named Naoe or something like that. And a samurai named Yasuke, who's actually based on a real-life person from the Nobunaga era.
Yeah. And to Jim's point, there was somebody who... So, I have the original tweet, which was learning the law, and his thing was, how I always imagined Assassin's Creed in Japan pre-woke era versus what we actually got. Modern audiences and DEI destroy everything. And then somebody at Infantile Comic responded. He said, "I worked on some narrative elements for
Maybe
this
Infinitail? Maybe. Infinity and Tail? Maybe.
So I have this tweet up as well, but he says, I worked on some narrative elements for the Shingoku era of Japan for Assassin's Creed back in 2013-2014 when I worked under a contract in San Jose, Tokyo. I guess they tossed out all that out for a Black Samurai and some cannon destroying Kunoichi boss, which Kunoichi is the shinobi, female shinobis basically. And then he has a whole, he basically outlines what the whole story is. As Jim said, we don't know if this guy actually was the writer.
And even if he was, this was 10 years ago.
Was 10 years ago. Jim, regardless of people's feelings on DEI, all this shit, I do have to say, it's a little weird. Your first game in Japan, if you're a main character, when you're talking about Japanese culture and samurais, you make this choice in the era we're in now, when you know that's going to be the response. It would be like, let's tell a tale of ancient Russia, and here's the Native American lead character. It doesn't make sense to do this, except for you're probably trying to stir the pot. I'm not saying it's DEI. And once again, I don't even remember what DEI stands for.
Diversity, inclusiveness, and equality. So put it into DEI. Diversity, equality, and inclusiveness. I think that's what it is. Okay.
And this all ties back to, because I've seen a lot of people commenting, that goes back to that thing. Who was that group that worked on Spider-Man and they were in hot water?
Sweet Baby.
All that bullshit. I just think for a game based in Japan on samurais, it's an interesting choice.
Yeah,
just like Last Samurai the movie caught a bunch of shit. It's that's a really stupid fucking idea. But
even though I never saw it, but apparently in that Tom Cruise isn't actually a samurai. It's just him there with the last samurais.
He's an American that gets ingratiated with the culture and whatever. It's that's still to call him the last
to call the movie The Last Samurai, and then it's just a big picture of Tom Cruise in a kimono. A little weird.
Okay.
Right.
I like the movie. I'm just saying.
Do we have to put up the Paul Mooney clip, Brian? I mean, I don't think we can on YouTube, but
we certainly cannot.
I'm just saying.
Watch Chappelle Show. Look up Paul Mooney. You'll know what Jim's talking about.
Chappelle Show, Paul Mooney, Last Samurai. Enjoy.
Yeah, but it's can't you just be honest? That's probably, it's obviously, once again, it's gonna stir people up. But like I said, the first game in Japan.
Here's the thing, though. I want to see if people from Japan really care, because I haven't seen a lot of maybe they're just too polite of people in general, but I haven't seen a lot of outrage. I've seen more outrage from black people saying he's pandering than I've seen from Japanese people going, "Why don't we have a Japanese lead?" Even though they do have a Japanese lead, they have the girl. And for all we know, Yasuke could be a very minor part of the game early on, and you play as a girl for the most part. I don't know. We're not going to know until the fucking game's out anyway, because it's going to be ugh. Pardon me.
Fuck.
Because it's sorry. Because it's still the Grumses of the world and the Friday Night Tights crew and the Geeks and Gamers who are going to be it's like when the Fallout show was shown and they showed that 2-minute clip and they were oh, it's woke Reddit tier garbage and the show's awesome. Or for X-Men 97 when they the writers are oh yeah, I mean it just makes sense for Morph to be non-binary, and they went, this is woke, this is going to be trash, and it was awesome. So it's do we live in an era where Netflix will change the race of something for no reason half the time? Yeah, it's a meme for a reason. And to your point, do I think this could have just been an easy way to make some controversy for the game and some attention? I wouldn't write that off, because when's the last time anyone really talked about Assassin's Creed? But with all that being said, do I fucking care? No.
No, but it's you got to be able to just call out and to your point, who knows? Obviously, I don't think we see feeds from Twitter in Japan, so who knows how they're feeling?
That's what I really want to know, yeah.
But what I will say is, like I said, it's just a weird...
Man, for once as a white guy, I don't have a dog in this fight. This is awesome.
I don't, like I said, I don't care. I mean, here's the deal. I was actually excited when I first was like, oh, it's like a Japanese culture, especially around the Shogun era and anything to do with samurais. I'm pretty hooked. I'm like, oh, that's pretty awesome. Once again, it doesn't. I'm actually shocked it took this long to incorporate that because now they've got what? They got Vikings. They've had
Vikings, Native Americans,
Egyptians, Greeks,
Italians, the worst of all, obviously.
Definitely. And then, you also had the pirate shit. You had, like the founding of America. You had all these things.
And it's not like these games have been super historically accurate. I don't remember time machines being real, Brian.
Yeah, but they always do tend to throw in actual historical figures in all their games. But yeah, like the main characters, though, they tend to be what you would expect. So I think for the first one in Japan, it's an odd look. That's all I'll say.
Yeah,
that's it.
It's fair. And like, it's just weird, like this era that we live in where like everything, like, it's why I do give a little credence to they knew what they were doing this. It was stirring up interest because, like, look at the fucking state of Twitter right now. Like, there's literally a war that's been going on for a week and a half now on Wikipedia of people editing and re-editing fucking Yasuke's entry to say, oh, he was, trained with Nobunaga, or other people saying, no, he was just like, an oddity that Nobunaga thought was cute and let him tag along. Like, this is what people are doing these days.
It is what it is. I mean, it's one of those. I think to your point,
the second I see Grumps care too much, I'm just like, all right. One, I don't care anymore, and two, it's just like it's not as big a deal as he's making it out to be. Obviously,
it's not. And here's the deal. I think if you need a way to get more eyes on the game, what better way? Because had they not done this and it was just traditional Japanese samurai,
what? Yeah.
It would have been like, oh, it's just samurai. Like the base level would have been it's samurai. And honestly, most of the comments I see is like, yeah, they're too late on this with Ghost of Tsushima, and they name like 2 or 3 other games are like, which will probably do the that whole samurai culture and this type of battle system way better. So they're just too late to the game. So yeah, this is something that could make them stand out significantly.
Yeah.
I don't know. Will it bite? I don't know if it will bite them in the ass or if it'll garner enough interest.
Right. If there's one thing we all learned today. If you want to get some attention on Twitter, just throw a black eye in. Boom!
Damn it. Yeah.
Throw in a black eye or take away some boobs.
Wait, I thought the issue was the butt.
It's both.
It's okay.
Now, if you take away some black butt, now you got to see what's really going to happen. Is that the event horizon of Twitter, Brian?
It could be. You tell me.
One way to find out.
I mean, I think there's multiple ways to find out.
Yeah, I didn't really know where I was going with that. I just kind of tapped out at that point.
Jim, the real question is, so how many hours are you in now, Fallout 4?
Good question. I want to say probably like 12.
What faction are you siding with right now?
I've been doing most of the Minutemen missions right now.
Okay, because yeah, I let's see if I can remember from Fallout 4. You got Minutemen, Railroad, Institute, and Brotherhood of Steel. I think those are the 4 biggies.
Minutemen, Railroad Institute, Brotherhood of Steel, and like I know there's a lot of Boston PD places. Are they like considered one or?
No, I think those are the 4 major. I'm saying equivalent to New Vegas, which there's a little trivia. Do you remember the 4 major factions in New Vegas?
Yeah, it was the Legion, the New California Republic, the guy who ran New Vegas, Mr.
Benny. Or no, I know it's oh fuck, what is his name?
I'm blanking right now.
Oh my god. The fucking TV.
Yeah, Mister. I can't remember his name. Mustache boy. I can't fucking remember.
That really bothers me.
Yeah, and then like there's also like the Protectrons like that had their own Sentinel guy where basically you could take them all over, and then like the Brotherhood was there, but they were like kind of a non-factor weirdly.
Yeah, Brotherhood and Enclave in Fallout New Vegas were kind of like non-existent. They had like tiny little side quests basically.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. I can't wait to see how far you get in 4 and like I said, I'm curious if you'll get the bug enough to want to go back. Now, when you got the game, I assume you just got Game of the Year version?
No, I just have the base version because it was at Five Below.
Oh, okay.
So I saw it there and I was like, well, I have no reason to not buy it for $5.
Did you ever, and I know New Vegas was always your favorite, did you ever even play the DLC for New Vegas?
Nah, never did.
So I assume you're not doing a DLC for this?
No.
You really don't like DLC, do you?
I don't hate it, but like if I already have 80 hours into a game, I've kind of had my fill.
But Jim, you're supposed to enjoy it all.
I did it. I don't have 500 hours to dump into this shit.
Dump all your hours.
And in fairness to me, like back when I was going through my kick, I think within like a 2-year span, I went through Elder Scrolls 4 and 5 and Fallout 3 and New Vegas, like all within like back to back to back to back to back.
So you burnt yourself out.
Kind of. That's probably why it took me so long to get into Fallout 4. And even my first like 2 or 3 hours, I was just like, am I even enjoying this? And then eventually it just like clicked and I was like, oh, it got me.
Yeah, it's tough. Now, is there any part of you that's at least willing to hear some of the dialogue and understand the story?
No, yeah, I'm paying attention to the story.
Okay. I like to hear that. Son of a bitch.
I've barely touched the main story, but yeah. I'm listening.
I mean, that's par for the course for all of Bethesda games.
I am the Silver Shroud.
Silver Shroud. If you got the Tommy gun, that's all. That and the cool cloak, or not cloak, the duster.
Yep. That final battle for that though, I gotta like level myself up if I want to save that guy. Holy shit.
Do you have your follower, the dog?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I found myself.
Right. That is called my walking inventory.
Oh, dude, yeah. You're like, here, hold all this scrap metal.
Yeah. I don't need that lone wanderer perk. I need someone to carry all the shit I'm fucking stealing.
Uh-huh. Ooh, here's a question. Jimmy Wimmy Pants, when you first put in your special, what are you dumping the most amount of points into?
So far I've been like spreading it around just to have a little bit of everything. Like I hate it when I get to a thing. It's like, oh, can't lockpick this. It's like, yes, I can fucking lockpick this in. So, I'll put like 1 star there. I think I'm going to go a lot of perception and charisma. So I have more VATs and to talk my way out of shit. And then I'll go back and do like the other stuff.
Okay. What's your go-to combat style?
Shoot.
Well, late energy weapons, small guns, big guns.
Whatever I have the most ammo of.
I'm saying though, as you're dumping in stats, you gotta kind of, at least in the beginning, be like, all right, well, I guess I'll stick with one of them.
Oh, like right now my best gun's like a laser gun that I just like upgraded the shit out of. So
Gotcha. Okay.
I like the laser gun, and like it took me a little while to realize, oh yeah, I really need to use fucking grenades and trap mines.
Oh, dude, yeah. The amount of frag mines, frag grenades, or even like pulse or plasma, I had so many that like, yeah, I would just go on a thing. I actually like would go into places where I knew there was a lot of death claws. I was like, I'll just do a whole line of like frag mines just because I have so many and I don't want to wait.
And blowing their legs off is like the only way to not get killed.
Fuckers. Those bastards.
Or even when those like goddamn legendary ghouls pop out, I'm like, God damn it. Like, all right, I gotta cripple this asshole.
You're like, huh, a ghoul. This is, oh shit.
Oh, fuck.
You're like, well, here goes all my ammo.
Oh, good, it mutated. Now it has all its life back. Wonderful.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about those mutations. Did you come across the raiders, what are they called, the Scorched yet?
No.
Yeah, there's like what I do like about 4 a lot. Kind of New Vegas did this too. Like a lot of the raiders have their own, like, it's not just all universal raiders. Like there's like sects of them and there's specialty ones. And one of them I think is a Scorched. And you get, I think You run across them because they usually either have flamethrowers, Molotovs, or the shish kebab thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, nice.
Yep, it's got sucks with me, Bri.
So damn it, Jim. So Chambers, how was the ultra right treating you tonight?
It's good. I'm on my third one right now, and it's like it's kind of starting to sit a little heavy or like bubbly weird in the tummy. Like I don't think it's this one that like you can pound all night because it's still like not fully a light beer, but it's also not like a true heavy lager. It's weird. Everything about it's kind of weird, but it's also good, but it's also weird. Does that make sense?
Yeah, what I'm hearing is a few more, and you're gonna pull out your Trump hat.
few more, and I'm gonna get on Twitter and tell people what I really think about this Assassin's Creed debacle. It's just weird. It's flowing through me. I don't know what's happening. I'm transforming. It's like Barney turning from a genius into a drunk, but for me, it's turning from a drunk into a racist. I don't know, Brian.
You're like, I don't know what's happening.
I can't control it.
Yeah. These session sours, they do go down really smooth. They're not overly tarty. Like I said, of the variety pack, the peach one was way more sour. This is very subtle. And although I'm very leery when I see sea salt or salt added to beer, this one wasn't bad at all. So I would recommend it. If you want an interesting little sour and you're not too keen on getting the super tart ones, this would be like a good starter for you if you want to try it out. So
nice.
With that, guys, we want to say thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for listening. If you are watching us on YouTube, like Jim said, please make sure you hit the notification bell, hit subscribe so you can see all of our latest content. And if you're listening on iTunes or Spotify, please make sure you subscribe to us. And if you give us a 5-star rating, you can bash us in the comments. We'll read it on each and every one of these Power Hour podcasts. With that, we want to say have a good night, everyone, and cheers.
Cheers, everybody.